G'day RTSSG, guess what? So here's the first video of where we're going to get started. What we're going to do is we're going to follow this man with his paintbrushes and see how he goes about it, and he's going to explain a little bit to us, and we're going to watch Trent come to life. A little bit like going back in time. I feel as I'm sitting in Michelangelo's studio watching the great master at work.
I wish.
Yes, you know, but there was a bloke, Gregory, that said, Michelangelo, when are you going to finish? And Michelangelo replied,
Lie around your back all day.
yeah, when he said, when I am done. Okay, Jamie, so what are we doing now?
Well, I'm doing his guns, but I tend to start off, I work from dark to light. So you put in all the shadows first, because that gives you like it's like building the chassis of a car. So it gives you all the basic template of where everything, all the shapes sit. So once you've got the shadows in, then I would put the mid-tones and then end up with the highlights. So it's just a way of I'm mapping out the shape first. And you start off pretty loose and pretty messy. Doesn't really matter, and then you can tighten up all the detail later. So I can just see there's a big shadow running down that arm. So I'll just block all that in.
So tell me a little about your instruments and your tools, like for paintbrushes. Like with me, it's the $2 ones from the, reject shop. But what sort of brushes do you use?
All different. Like this is, $12 for it's synthetic, but it's good quality synthetic. So I can use that. I can use these hog bristle brushes. I can use these really El Cheapos from China that are synthetic. They all sort of serve a purpose. Some are for different textures. These round ones are for really good blurry background, like this one for the background textures, and right up to these little pointy ones that give me that eye that I have to redo for that sort of detail and all the little bits of hair on his face and all that stuff, pimples and spots and blotches and things. And so all sorts of different quality brushes, cheap brushes, really expensive. Like this one was about $13. That one was $50. So there's all different quality. It doesn't mean necessarily they're the right ones. So
how many brushes would you use on Trent?
Oh, I'll probably use 40 or 50 different brushes over the whole time. Because so these little pointy ones particularly, they tend to just disintegrate pretty quick. And then the paints are oil paints. There's all different kinds. This is a really nice yellow that I use, Aurelian. It's about $70 just for that tube. But they're all oils of various brands.
How many different colours and shades would there be that you would use?
This might be a bit boring for people, but I use a really basic palette. That's it. From those, the three primary colours, if anyone did, primary school art, there's three primary colours, red, blue and yellow. And you can't make them from any other colours. They're pure colours, if you like. So your green is, blue and yellow makes green, and purple is red and blue, and orange is yellow and red, and all that sort of stuff. So you make all the colours from these three. So that's really limited colour.
Outstanding.
But I use a sort of a creamy yellowy white and a white to get my creamy skin colours. So for these sorts of colours here, that's a mixture of those three plus a bit of this Naples yellow. Gives you that nice creamy skin tone, but it's really limited. I mean, you can use a million. The other thing I use is cadmium red and cadmium yellow for those bright. You can't get a super bright red out of this base red that I use. So if I want a red football or a yellow football, bright yellow, I use those two. But basically, everything is done with those three.
Stunning.
That's just how I do it. It's not the only way to do it. You can use some artists use like 15 base colours that they work from. You can do whatever you like. There's a million different ways to skin a cat, as they say, or 100 different ways. But anyway, that's how I do it.
Cool. So back to the muscles.
Back to the muscles and blocking in the darker areas. So I've got my template to then work out from.
Well, I think I should leave you alone and let you get going. Well, TSSG, that's a little snapshot as you see Trent Cotchin come to life. Get ready for the next one because it won't be far away.